your hustling godfather. I am the one that tells you the truth when no one else does. I'm the one that slips you a 20. I'm the one that tells you to kiss that girl. That's right. I'm Glendon, your hustling godfather. Today, we're going to get into a very serious topic. We're going to get into, are you going to take the red pill or are you going to take the blue pill? I've been talking about this for a long time. I think that most degrees are worthless. I've been saying this for 7 years. We've hit an apex where many people are starting to feel the pain of choosing the wrong degree. I'm going to take you through a little journey here on my thoughts, some of my predictions by showing you some videos, and I will be here, I'm not going anywhere, of what happened with this educational debate over the last 8 years. Now, there's another offer, and we'll get to that a little bit, but let's begin, because this is going to be painful for some of y'all. It's going to be very painful. It's going to be very painful. Not fit for human consumption. I wanted to do this video a long time, but I didn't do it under my other channel, Glendon 007. That's mostly for the storage auction stuff. But the title of this segment, the degree myth. This is something that is being rammed down the throat of any intelligent person in the United States of America. You need a degree to be successful in life, which is essentially a bunch of bullshit, because these scores of people who are making above average income, and average income is 46 grand a year. What that means is 50% of the people in this country make less than $46,000 a year. When you crank it up to 65,000, 75% of the people make less than that number. And when you get up to 100 grand, it's like 20% of the country makes more than that. Yet, roughly 35% of the people in this country hold a degree. This numbers are not adding up, and actually I'm going to even break it down further. One of the things that you really need to understand, there is, for most degrees, no direct correlation between having a degree and income. Let me say that again, because people are going to like, that's not true, I've heard it. Even the president said it. You need a degree, higher education. It's just on and on and on. What you need are specific and marketable skill sets, which can be gained through earning a degree, or you can learn on your own through experience, apprenticeship, internship. Give you a great example. Take Silicon Valley, which has an average income of $75,000 a year. Yet, only 15% of the people in that area have a degree. Why is that? Well, why is that? Because it's a tech area. Tech does not care if you have a degree or not. Tech cares if you can get the job done and solve problems. If you are some little grungy little kid in your basement that comes up with a new app, guess what? You could be making 6 to 7 figures a year because you've solved a problem. You've created something better that makes people's lives better, easier, more fun, whatever. That's how you make money. Let's go back down to the degree myth. First of all, there's a few degrees that you have to do the job, such as being an attorney, a doctor, an engineer. There's certain training that you have to have for those fields. But how many fields are there like that? Seriously, when you just go through the catalog of college degrees, there's probably 50, maybe 60 fields where you absolutely have to have a degree. Like I said, nursing, say chemistry. And what's really funny about that is if you're like Dean Carmen, you've heard of the guy. Oh, you know his name? He's the guy that invented the Segway. He did not finish school. He went in, got what he needed, and got out of school, withdrew himself out of school and started inventing shit and became a multimillionaire. And, you know, understand, this video is not saying that education is not valuable. Information is the most valuable commodity in the world. There's no disagreement with that. My disagreement is the degree thing. It's leading a lot of people to pile on tons of unnecessary debt. If you're getting a degree in history, English, philosophy, and you're not going to law school, you could be in trouble. Once again, those type of degrees, and you're not going to be a teacher, once again, you're in trouble. Because a lot of people don't understand. This is how you're paid. It's not how cute you are. It's not how great you are. Your pay is determined by how easy it is to replace you. Therefore, if you're easy to replace, your pay will be lower. If you're easy to replace, your pay would be significantly lower than if you are super rare. Case in point, general labor, someone who's picking up trash. Anyone can do that. You're going to make $8-10 an hour. Say you're an orthopedic surgeon, like a guy I know, Dr. Bush, $700,000 to $1 million or more. Why? Tons of training, tons of expertise, and it takes a very long time to become an orthopedic surgeon. Undergrad, medical school, 4 to 5 year residency, a fellowship. That's a huge chunk of your life. And if you're good, the sky's the limit. But once again, I know people who, this is one of the things I learned about, love about business. If you have a good business idea and you have the tenacity, the drive, and the intellect to make it work, you could be making a high, 5-figure salary to low 6-figure salary within 2 to 4 years, which is the same amount of time it takes to get a degree. Also, just like a degree is not a sure path, having your own business is not a sure path. But in life, we take risk. But the big deal is, do not allow that to seize your mind to the point that I must get a degree, I must get a degree. Ask yourself this. If you're going to school, why am I going to school? And once I earn this degree, what's going to be the outcome? If you're like, I'm earning history and it's going to be real difficult for me to find a job. Don't believe me. Check out the blogs of people who have 3.5s, 3.4s, serious GPAs, can't find a job because a GPA will not find you a job. That means that the curriculum that they gave you, you did well. Big whoop. I'm serious. There's a guy in India right now who's coming up with an email app. He's coming up with a mobile phone app, and he's going to make more money in 2 years than you will in your whole freaking life. And he's in a village with a bull outside. This is the world. You've got to solve problems, or you have to invent something, or you have to build something. This is a knowledge-based economy. That doesn't mean you have to have a degree. If there's certain things, if you want to get one, go ahead. But go to community college. Pay cash as you go. And don't get in 6-figure debt for a job, for a degree that's only going to get you a 5-figure job. It doesn't make sense. It just doesn't when there's other avenues. There's other ways, like myself. The job I did when I got out of the military, I spent 6 months in a military MOS, and it got me a job just like that in a recession. I had the skills, I had the credentials, and I moved right on into the job. Whereas I had friends who had less stellar MOSs, and they struggled to find a job. The guys that were in Intel, crypto, medical MOSs, no problem. What is it? It's skill set. It's skill sets and experience. But I want you to do the research, because many colleges know, the so-called degree premium. It's a sleight of hand with data. Because if you pull the doctors out and the engineers and all of these high-income degree professions, and you just put in degree people with regular run-of-the-mill jobs, with high school grads with regular run-of-the-mill jobs, there's not that much difference. except the high school grad doesn't have the student loan debt load that the degree person does. Understand, education is critical. You have to be able to learn new skills, new things going forward. That's just the way the world's going to be. But do not get caught up in the degree myth, because there's so much documentation that it's not necessary to have a degree to make a lot of money if that's your goal in life. If your goal in life is to be a studier of flowers and you want to be the best horticulturist in the world, and you go to school and you get a master's and that's your goal, you're a success. But if your goal is to go to college and make $1 million a year, unless you choose the right degree, which is usually going to be a management, consulting, and you're going to have to go to B school, and it's going to be Wall Street or somewhere like that, and only the cream of the crop is going to get those jobs. So if you're in a class of 150 and only the top 3%, that's 15 folks that are getting those jobs. So the other 135 are, guess what? You're back to the regular shit like everyone else. Yet you've just spent $150,000 for your master's degree. Telling you, it is sad, it is tragic, and it's leading our kids to do crazy stuff because I hear it. I need to get a degree. I need to get an education. I need to get an education. But what's missing is the specifics. You need a specific education to do a specific thing. Understand, there's a huge difference between making money and being a well-educated, very interesting, very well-read person. I know many people that fit that profile, and they're all broke. I'm a regular guy. But the thing is, I learned how the game is played. You make money by serving people, not being served by people and saying how great you are. Doesn't cut it. All right, this is Glendon. Hey, it's Glendon, and I'm having a great day today. Hopefully you are too, because YouTube is so much fun. But I'm not going to jump into that. I'm going to jump into this. Life is changing. I did a video titled The Degree Myth in 2011. Much to the derision of my friends, irritation of my friends, not some with 1, 2, 3, 4. One even has like 7 degrees. And broke as a church mouse in the hood. But we won't go there. And people, now I had the audacity to put that video on my Facebook page. And every time I put it up or I comment on it and that it goes across, someone just has steam coming out of their ears. They're just pissed off. As I said, I made that video in 2011. A lot of things have jumped off since then. Legitimate news sources, Newsweek, Time, the Wall Street Journal, Fortune, you name it, they've talked about it. Many people are questioning the legitimacy of a degree. I was watching my boy, if you like to be up on top of investing in gold and silver, check out Street Money 21. Funny dude. And I was watching this video late last night, and he was like talking about degrees. And at that point, I was like, whoa, this is real, because it's everywhere. See, this is not just me saying this. This is not just me. There's empirical evidence that's saying a 4-year degree may not be the way to go. You couldn't say that 10 years ago without someone just slapping you and saying something wrong with you. You're stupid. You're ignorant. I got that in 2011. But let's really take things that we know. The most important thing is to capture knowledge. Second most important thing is to take that knowledge and use it to enrich your life. We agree on that, right? But for some reason, people have become seduced, bamboozled, hoodwinked, that they need to go to someone's university to be validated. And it's the new slavery. It's the government suing people over student loans left and right now.
You cannot escape a student loan. Can't do it. It will hunt you to your grave. It'll even hunt your parents if they co-signed for it. Let's talk about that. Let's really, just get broad with it. Number one, our educational system is not as good as the one that I went through in the 70s and 80s. It's not. It's just not. And it was better in the 60s because they focused on two things, reading and writing, which are the benchmarks of all learning. Crazy stuff has gone on since then. Gotten away from it. Totally gotten away from it. So now you have a huge population that is educated but lacks critical thinking skills. Now, how important is that? I'll break it down for you. Back when I was a scrub, I was a loser. Yes, I was. As I was trying to put my life together, I sat down in my room, in the hood, and I pulled out sheets of paper and I started writing up diagrams for my future. I actually weighed the opportunity cost of getting a degree versus starting a business. Now, this process went on, but it was pretty much a wrap in one night. But I went on for a week and I just went back and checked my numbers and this is when things were better, understand. But I looked at the effective value of that degree versus the jobs I can get. Now, this is what's really crazy about this exercise. A lot of the stuff that I wanted to get into doesn't exist anymore. It's been taken over by automation. I want you to think about that because I was going to get into statistics, and I think if, the dream was when I was a kid, go to Boston College and come out and work into one of those fine brokerage firms on Wall Street. But I actually changed my mind about that. And I really looked at that stuff, and that's like if I had, right was the business and left for school. If I had turned left, you wouldn't know me on YouTube. I wouldn't be here. I would be working 2 to 3 or 4 jobs to replace that one I lost. I wouldn't be here. I would be one of those people that was out there protesting on Wall Street. I would have been one of those people. I would have been that guy that's getting ready to go home and get the gun and come back and shoot up everyone in the place because I worked there 20 years. I gave them my blood, my sweat, my tears, and you're going to tell me you're going to fire me? I would have been that dude. So thank God I had critical thinking skills because I was able to plot out with a great degree of accuracy the right choice for me. Now, what was right for me may not be right for you, but thank God I learned how to run a business, to start a business, to source a business, to vet out business ideas, because that education right now is freaking priceless. Because I don't care what's going on. I'm going to be okay because I know how to produce stuff. Did a video, producer, consumer. In that video, I had a challenge because most people are addicted to spending money and don't even know it. See if you can go a week without spending money. And it's going to be hard because you're conditioned to spend money. And just like you're conditioned that even with all of this evidence that going to school and getting any old degree is not the way to go, there are people lined up to go to school. Their friends can't find jobs. Their parents. Now let's talk about this because once again, critical thinking. Hey, Glendon. Well, the thing is that the unemployment rate is lower for those who have a degree. And I would say, you are absolutely right. Because I was an employer. And if I can get a college-educated person for the same money I would pay a high school graduate, that's what I'm going to do. That's not a benefit. That's not a benefit. When you really parse the numbers, they're not all lovely. There was a study, I couldn't find it, And that's something else. When you're really looking for hardcore information, a lot of times you cannot find it online. You really have to search, and you have to go through pages and the page 20. It's amazing what gets buried online, yet the world is wide open, right? No, it's not. Because there was a survey, I can't remember it, and that's one of the reasons I'm having a hard time finding it. But they came out and said those numbers about what a degreed person makes and what a high school, they weren't exactly accurate. And based on what I know, how many people I know with degrees who are not making a lot of money? They made money here, there. And the thing is, with a business owner, your shit can go bust and you can be broke too. So I'm not going to throw stones, but the thing is, if you know how to start one business, you know how to start another one. And after a while, you get really good. You can just walk into someone's business and like, this is going really well, or this is about to be closed in a minute. Because you develop those skills. So essentially, what's going on right now is a huge, huge shift. Understand, it's not a matter of it starting. It started. We're already going through it because right now people are like, man, it's bad. And you ain't seen nothing yet. Because this is something that's funny with the investment markets. There's a lot of market suppression. There's a lot of games. There's a lot of shenanigans. But there's a certain class of people that it's not really messing with. Creative class and the entrepreneur class that knows how to manage money. There's an entrepreneur class that doesn't know how to manage money. They're going to be screwed just like everyone else unless they just get a good lick. But I know people that the recession they actually bought more stuff because they were financially positioned and they had a financial education. I'm trying to tell you something. I, was talking to some people and I was like, what's the difference between a Roth IRA and a traditional IRA? And they didn't know. And these are educated people. They have degrees. And it's like, no one could tell me. And that was 10 people at the situation. No one can tell me. And I was like, well, with a Roth, you pay taxes now. And all that money and the earnings, if, you're at a certain age and you've had the money in there a certain time, you don't have to pay any taxes on it again. So, because this is me. This is based, connecting the dots. What do we have? We have a huge financial problem with our economy and our government right now. Big, big debt, right? Let's circle the globe. Name one country that doesn't have a similar problem. There are a few. One of them, if Hitler knew if he wanted to enslave the world, he just had to lend the money, he'd be like, Germany only has $82 million. I mean, 82 million, a population of 82 million. But what does Germany do? They build shit. Robots, cars, space, they build shit. We got some of Germany's gold and we can't give it all back to them. They're like, it's like, yeah, you'll get it in a few, in the next decade, and you can't even get all of them. So essentially, there are not many places that are financially solvent. Just to break it down to the nuts, there's not too many places on the planet that are financially solvent. There's war in a lot of places. Bad economies, right? Because people talk about, I'm leaving the United States. Where the fuck you going? There's a few places, but understand, go back and study history. Just because they're safe right now, doesn't mean they're going to be safe in 5 years. So what are you going to do? You just going to, jump around the globe? What are you going to do? Because the thing is, I don't care how much money you have. Going back to history, World War II, there were a bunch of really rich Jewish people that had their shit snatched. And they were put in concentration camps. So don't think that just because you have money, you're going to be safe. Because if you go to the wrong country, they will seize your shit and throw your ass in prison. Because this is the thing. This is not the, well, the other country's beautiful. I was in the military. I got to go to countries and live in the Ville, how the ladies live. And I saw stuff. So, all you people talking about, I'm getting the hell out of America, good luck. But with that, back to connecting the dots. The world right now has financial turmoil. I think we can all agree about that, right? Shake your head, nod, yeah, it's true. So, what does this mean? At some point, taxes are going up. Everywhere. Virtually everywhere. They're going up. So, for your financial, educational and financial future, you need to, number one, manage your money as well as you can right now. 2, save money. 3, make more money. It's not an either or. You got to do both. You got to manage what you have, save, and crank it up. Make as much money as you can while you're managing your money properly. Because you're going to have it. I have a Roth. Now, the thing is, my situation is a little different because I am special. But I'm not going to give tax advice or investment advice on YouTube because everyone's situation is different. But I will give you some general guidelines. I'm going to say this. If you have a job and you have a business, there's a ton of beautiful stuff that's open for you in terms of saving money on taxes and investments. It's crazy. I mean, up to, I think, an income of $500,000 or even greater than that. I haven't looked into the limits. But just say this. You need to start a business and you work hard to make a profit, even if you have a job. You need to do it. You also need to learn the difference between a regular IRA and a Roth IRA. And you need to know what the difference between a call. You need to know how to put in stop losses. You need to know this stuff. Because understand, our current tax system was designed for institutions, businesses, and entrepreneurs. Notice regular folks was nowhere up in the mix. Wasn't made for you. Was not made for you. And it's never going to be made for you. So keep on thinking that somehow things are going to become fair. They're not. They're not going to become fair. Not even going to become close to fair. Get yourself a financial education. 30 minutes a week for the next 6 months will do wonders for you because it'll change how you think. You'll start looking at things differently because I looked at going back to school and I'm a college dropout. I just said, I am currently in the free fall because I'm dropping out of this bitch. And that was my story. That may not be for everyone. And one of the better decisions that I made. But with education, I looked at it as an investment that just crunching the numbers. And understand, I didn't even use a calculator. I did all this with longhand. I just wrote out, and this is part of the exercise. If I made X amount of dollars, knowing what I knew about raises, because you're only getting 2 to 3%. If you want to get a significant raise, a lot of times you have to change positions or get another job completely. So I just went ahead and added those 3%, and then I factored in inflation, and you get a 3% raise, but inflation's 2.2%. You ain't making no headway, player. None. Actually, you're going behind the 8 ball because you're blowing money fast. You're already living at a level that's higher than what you make, and you're losing ground. And before you know it, it's because you're underwater. This is why you got to learn. Because in the hustler mindset, I put in there one of the first tenets is you got to manage your money. You have to do it. You have to do it. There's no longer optional because understand, a lot of these social programs are in place right now. A lot of them are not going to exist when you're old, man. They're not. If they exist, they're going to be toothless. They won't have won't even be able to punch their way out of a paper bag. You are going to have to take care of yourself and your family. Because it's going to be a cold, cruel world. Because this is the thing. Like, I don't own any assault weapons, but this is how I look at it. If you are a smart squirrel and you are putting those nuts up in the tree, and then shit jumps off, guess what? The not so smart squirrels are going to be smart enough to rob your shit. So if you got the they will think about it. This, that's just me. That's just me. I don't think that we are there yet, but in the next 2 decades, we will be. That's my opinion. Because people talk about, we're going to have this underclass, right? We already have an underclass. It's just they have cable and PlayStation. Understand, the new poor today is not poor during the 1920s. In the 1920s, we lived in a house with a tin roof. There was a dirt road up to the door, and when our shoes wore out, we put cardboard in them because we couldn't get any more. There was no Payless. There was no Walmart. It's either you had or you didn't have. Now, our level of poor has a certain, they have luxuries. Our poor people have luxuries. I've been in other people's countries. That's the reason Mexicans are like, I'm going through the fence, homie. Homes, I'm coming, homes. Because there's some abject poverty there. Not to mention your ass could get kidnapped. But understand, what we are going through leaves you very few choices. Very few choices. Because it's like so many bad things have happened that there is no turning back. Because at some point, when we get the right leadership, these two things are going to happen. Taxes are going up, and kahunka, shit's going to get cut. Going to have to do both, because the problem is so large. It's like, hey, we're going to start cutting here. We're going to do. And also, if we could keep our ass out of a war, because the thing is, people are like, yeah, we need to get rid of those social programs. War is one of the biggest social programs on the planet for only a handful of people. Because understand, over a decade of war has made a group of people amazingly rich. Understand, it's a social welfare system like you ain't never heard before. Because this guy comes in year one, he's an account exec, he cashes out with $10 million in a. He's living in Florida. And he's 36 because he's done. He's made his money. A lot of people got rich off of this war. A lot of people. But people are like, I'm waving my flag. Understand, at some point, it had to be over with. But, that's a whole nother thing. But essentially, let's just really, really talk about it. Because the thing is, it all connects together. Because why do you go to school? You go to school to gain education and knowledge so you can take care of yourself and your family. That's what it boils down to. There's a lucky few who go to school just to learn some new shit because that turns them on. That's not everybody. Everyone is not in that position. Because if you're not making any money in the United States of America, you have a lot of problems. Money may not buy happiness, but it solves a lot of problems. So you got this stuff going on. And I'm really trying to be real here because there's a lot of people who are going to be really, really hurt with this I must go to school thing. I put up recently about a nurse in California who couldn't find a job. And people are like, well, she's enrolled. I'm like, hello? It was, if you were a nurse, it didn't matter where you were. You should be able to get a job. The fact that there's a problem there is just a symptom of a larger problem. Understand, a lot of stuff's going to change. And I want you to think about something. If you're in your late 30s, early 40s, there's some things that you have witnessed that you were told you would not witness. Teaching was supposed to be recession-proof. Nursing, healthcare was supposed to be recession-proof. Firemen, police officers were supposed to be recession-proof, right? Every last one of those professions have experienced massive layoffs in these last 7 years. Every last one of them. Some cities have shut down their fire departments or their police departments, and they've banded up with a larger force because they didn't have the money. These so-called recession-proof jobs. Now I want you to think about something. If a fireman, a nurse, a teacher can get laid off, what's going to happen to you? Think about that. There is no such thing as a recession-proof job. None. Because technology is moving, and it's moving faster than people anticipated, and people are being not replaced, but displaced. See, replacement is they're getting another human. No, you're being displaced. They're not bringing any more humans. It's computers, technology. This is what's happening. So if you want to go ahead and dispute me and say that, I'm wrong about getting a degree, I will beg you to put in what is the value of a college degree in Google and watch the results that pop up saying it ain't worth shit. I feel cheated. I feel bamboozled. I felt led astray. I have got $60,000 of student loan debt and I can't find a fucking job. So go ahead and debate all those people who are feeling that pain. Because see, I'm not that person. I don't have any student loan debt. I don't really have any debt. Sorry. And I don't mean, I'm not laughing at anyone who actually is going through some pain because they were lied to. But the reality is, at some point, you got to stop fucking up and fly right and go straight. At some point, you got to go, this ain't working. It's not working. And if you're already on that path and you're in there, hey, I feel for you. Because you're going to have to work it out any way you can. But understand, this time, when I say the degree myth, let me just flip it. The degree fact. Because if you don't get the right degree from the right school, in the right curriculum, in the right field, you are going to have some problems. Debate me on that shit if you want to. It used to be you can go to school and get a degree and picking band-aids off of pandas and your ass got a job. There was another shift because, law school is the de facto. I don't know what the fuck I want to do with my life, so I'm going to go to law school because it sounds good, because I really don't know what I want to do. Glut of lawyers. A few years ago, I read an article, the lowest level of lawyers being hired ever. Go Google it. Don't believe me. Google what's going on in the law profession. Hard as hell to get jobs. Hard as hell. Or if you get a job, it may not be as high paying as you think it may be. So, what's the answer? You. You need to figure out what you want to do with yourself. Stop believing in the narratives. Stop thinking someone's going to save your ass. Superman is not fucking coming. You are going to have to go in that spare room, pull out your grandma's sewing machine, and sew your own fucking S on your chest. Because that's what it's going to take. Because what we're about to return to is something that has not happened since those pilgrims came and pimped the hell out the Indians. Hate me if you want to. That's what happened. Indians were just chilling. Hey, I'm doing me, you do. Oh, look, there's some pilgrims. And shit was over. But when those pilgrims came here and they worked the land, everybody was self-employed or an indentured servant to some rich person. You see any difference? That's where we're going. Because this new economy, those low-level jobs that really just, grunt jobs, that's going to be the reality. So you got two choices. Work really hard on educating yourself and put the damn video games down. Stop watching so much television. Actually pick up books, real books, more than 200 pages. No, I'm sorry. A 100-page book is a book. But what I'm saying is start cramming some substance into your noggin. Start researching things. Start trending stuff. Create a goal that you are going to know what, just at the minimum, what financial terms are. You need to learn how to speak the language of money. You need to. Speaking the language of money is going to make you more money than getting a master's degree or PhD. Sorry, it will. Because we have billionaires with no degrees to attest to that fact. Not one, not two, not three, not four, several. Dropped out of school and became fantastically rich. Which should tell you, you don't have to go to school to have a successful business. But you do need knowledge. You do need knowledge. Let's not get it twisted. You have to have knowledge. You have to educate yourself. You really, really have to put some information into your system. You have to. It's not about like don't go to school and sit around and smoke ganja all day. No. You know, if you're going to be the weed man, and seriously, oh, speaking of that, we have 2 states, I think, could be more, that have legalized weed. But it's still against federal law. And the federal law said, you know what, we're not going to prosecute people in these states because the states said they want it. Guess what? Weed is 20 years, 25 or more states. I'm gonna say 30 states are gonna legalize weed. Probably 30 or more. Why? Because they need the money. Your grandma gonna be like, yeah, baby, I gotta go drop these dime bags off to Mrs. Jones. Your grandma gonna be slinging reefer, man. To subsidize her Social Security. I am not kidding you. Your grandma gonna be a runner, man. I'm laughing, but it's gonna happen. Because old people like to hustle. They like a little extra cheese on that check. So you're gonna see some mad stuff. So my question to you, what are you gonna do about it? I mean, seriously, you know, I'm just a dude on YouTube. You know, whatever happens in your life is what happens in your life. But what are you going to do with it? Because it's going to impact you more than it's going to impact me. What are you going to do? I mean, seriously, what are you going to do? Because, you know, I get emails and like, you know, I don't want to work that hard. I want to get this done in 6 months. Those are fucking pipe dreams. It took me 1, 2, 3, 4 business failures for my mind started to really grasp the concepts of business. I'm a slow learner, sorry. It happened over years. You got the internet. You can go out and find a new business model, start studying, and get that puppy running within 6 months and start throwing out some serious cash within 6 months to a year. You can do it. It's out there. But it's not going to come to you and, hi, I'm opportunity. Open up your pocket. I'm going to jump in. It's not happening. Unless you're blonde with big boobs. Happens a lot then. But seriously, is that, I mean, you really, because I'm making this video because I get these emails. It's like, hey, I'm going to school. I'm 21. I didn't feel comfortable saying this the first time I did the video, the degree myth. But I'm going to say it. Don't go to school. Don't. If that school cannot guarantee you a job, like some trade schools actually can guarantee you a job. It's like you go, you pass, they'll get you a job. If it's something like that, that makes sense. But if you cannot know without a shadow of a doubt, because understand, once you sign those papers, see, as that ink goes through that paper, some metal comes out and it turns into handcuffs and then chink, you're locked down. Whether you finish the program or not, you still have to pay that money. Think about that. How many people have paid tens of thousands of dollars to a college, dropped out, and still had to pay for the loan? They had to pay for failure. If schools operated on this principle that you must become educated and become a valuable member of society, they would be smaller. Seriously, they would be smaller. That's just reality. Because a school is the only thing that I know of that can fail massively and still make thousands of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars while failing massively. No other business in America that I know can pull that shit. Unless, you know, they're paying some politicians off. But that's the deal. Don't go to school. Start doing something. Get the book, The $100 Startup. Read up business books. Learn about money. Read stock books. Read about art. Fill your head with information that will lead to sense, and sense that will make dollars. Because, you know, I will say it with 100-degree earnest, you know, being earnest. Don't go to school. Seriously, don't do it. Unless you know, without a shadow of a doubt, that you're going to make some money. Because the consequences are too dire if you slip. Right now, you've got kids, $60, $70, $80, $100,000 in debt. And that debt is going to cripple and hamper them for the rest of their life. And that's a long time, man. That's a long time. going to mess up the ratios when they go for that house. It's going to impact every financial decision they make moving forward. Every last one. Now, if that's not slavery, I don't know what is. Just something for you to chew on. So go ahead, leave your comments. Tell me how I'm wrong about the degree thing. Go ahead and say how your life's wonderful and how it's go right ahead. But while you're doing that, I want you to open your eyes and come out of your myopic state and look at what's happening with the rest of the world. Weigh in that information before you give me your, well, this is my life and this is all I know response. Because if you do the information, there's no way that you're going to come in here and go, oh, Glendon, you're wrong. If you do the information, you do the research and you really get out there and start digging. And, one of my friends was cracking on me because I ride the bus to remind myself how fucking fortunate I am. Because, see, there are people out there that are taking 2 and 3 buses to go to their job, and they're spending anywhere from 3 to 4 hours one-way travel time to go to a low-wage job. I was that person once in my life. That shit sucks. It sucks hairy fucking monkey balls. It sucks so bad. So when I'm on that bus and I'm looking at these people and I'm looking at these families transporting and moving themselves, my heart fills with fortune and gratitude. Because I could be that person. I go out and look at what's going on in the world. I don't sit up in my house going, hey, I got it good, so everyone else should get, or they didn't work hard. No. A lot of people were lied to. They were totally fucking lied to. I was one of those people, and one day I started climbing out the matrix and the tube started popping off. And the truth hurts at first because you're used to tasting lies. It hurts. It hurts a lot. But then you get used to it and you expect it. So, really, just go out there. And, before you respond, go to a homeless shelter. Go to a part of town where there are homeless people and look them in the eye. I've actually talked to homeless people because I've talked to some really smart ones and they were just like me at one point and something went very wrong. And I am trying to prevent that shit from happening in my life. I ain't gonna lie. I'm not gonna say I'm not too proud to beg. Hey, it could happen. One little mental illness, break up with the family, starts, taking or smoking. Little things can loom large. So I'll talk to these people and it keeps me grounded because I'm telling you, here's a little kid from Alabama with a speech impediment, special ed kid who saw some shit that PhDs fucking missed. What does that tell you? Oh, they're smart. Don't say they're not smart. They're smart. Is that we adopt narratives. And we go forward with those narratives, even if they're...
Alrighty there. I am Morpheus. I'm going to lead you out the Matrix. I am so cracking up today. But we're going to get into what happened with college. Years and years ago, college was a good thing. It was a good investment. But let's say when I went to college, but I dropped out. But I was able to actually work and pay my way through college. I didn't have any student loan debt. You can't do that today. That's a problem. Even going with, community colleges, kids are still racking up crazy debt. The intent and the purpose of college has been prostituted. I love football, but typically football is a business. Football is a separate business from college. And if you're going to deal with truth, a lot of people pick a college just because of the football team, not the quality education. It's just that insipid. But if you want to have a better life, you've got to learn to appreciate the truth and deal with the truth. I made these videos in 2011. I made them in 2013. 2011, I lost Facebook friends. I had people inboxing me, calling me a loser. I had one friend, it's like, if you were educated, you wouldn't be saying the things you were saying. He just filed bankruptcy. Yes, it's sad. Part of this thing is, and this is what people get it twisted. We have this society that has said that everyone needs a college degree. And when I was coming up, there was something called vocational education. They taught welding in high school. They taught auto repair in high school. And a lot of my friends went that route and got jobs and had families and retired. Everyone doesn't need a degree. And with most degrees being useless, because we had someone in there that's like, hey, don't mislead people. If you want to be a doctor, you got to go to school. You want to be an attorney, you got to go to school. You want to be a certain kind of engineer, you got to go to school. But those degrees only represent, I don't even know, I'm going to put a number out there. I'm like 8, maybe 10% of all graduates per year. If colleges were held for people who needed those type of degrees, they would be smaller and cheaper. Just facts. What the? All right, hold on. There we go. Don't really know what's going on with. What the heck? Remove. There we go. I don't know why these people come. Well, I do. They come to be disruptive. They come because they need attention. But as I was saying, colleges would be cheaper. Now, I have a program, Hustle Camp, and it's $6,000. If you were to spend $6,000, and currently you don't because I have a discount on it, in a year, if you hustled, you would make 5 to 6 times what you spent. In a year, or less if you're really hustling. But this was some crazy stuff. James S., what are your thoughts on being a CPA? If that's what you want to do, be one. If that's what that makes your junk wiggle, do it. So here's the thing. If you want to be successful in these United States of America, you can be. But you must divest yourself of the lies. Once again, I put these videos out a long, long time ago, and they're ringing true. And I'm doing this not to toot my own horn, but to tell you that often I am way ahead of everyone else. I put that first video out in 2011, and people called me crazy. I put the second one out in 2013. I didn't get called as crazy. I could put that video out today, and people be like, yep, that's the truth. So understand what you get when you are coming here at Hustlers Kung Fu. You get an advanced preliminary education on what's to come and how to deal with it. So that's no problem. Sometimes, I was checking a lot of people. Y'all do a great job and keep it up. But part of moving forward is you got to deal with the truth. When I was in that boarding house and I was figuring out a life plan, I was going to go back to school. I was going to finish up my undergrad and get an MBA in finance. So I sat there with, I had a pencil, but with a pen and paper, and I actually ran the numbers. And then I figured I would have graduated around 2005 or 6. We all know what happened 2007, 8, and 9. We already know what happened to the financial plan. So I would have made a decision and a commitment to education for something that wouldn't have served me well in the future. So instead, I started a business that has continued to grow. It's changed forms, but I still serve people. But that was hands down one of the best decisions in my life. Maybe you don't need a business. Maybe you're a person that needs a job. Have at it. But as someone put in his comments, you could be a welder and make up to $50 per hour. A welder. There are a lot of high-paying jobs out there if you're not afraid to get your hands dirty. There's a bunch of them. All right, so I'm just letting y'all know. Y'all missed the deal because below, you can still get 50% off Hustlers Kung Fu, but things have changed a little bit. And now the entry point to get Disruptive Mail is $350. So if you go into Hustlers Kung Fu Life Skills, and you find something, you got to spend $350 to get lifetime access to Disruptive Mail Prep, which will launch next Tuesday. And every day I'm going to drop out a little bit more stuff. So you got to have these opportunity costs. You've got to really know what you're getting yourself into. I had a lot of people talk shit about me. I've had, even here, someone a few months ago was like, for someone that says you don't have a degree, why shouldn't you listen to them? You know why you should listen to me? Because I get results. I make it do what it do. I get fucking results. There is being educated, there's being educated, and then there's applying the education you have to real world and real life situations. I apply my education, and I'm going to talk about that in a minute, to real world situations. I have an education in sales. I have an education in marketing. I have an education in content creation. I have an education now in video production. I have an education in content creation. I've learned new skills that are relevant in demand. Take action, people. Do not sit and be paralyzed by, well, what should I do? How did I make money? Pick something and get started, because what happens is you can build upon that. I started off selling stuff out of storage unit lockers, which taught me how to write ads, which taught me how to do content creation, which taught me how to make videos and write scripts, which taught me now for the last 6 years, I've been winging it. I don't even work with a script. I have this process of what I'm going to say, how I'm going to say it, and I do a little outline and I hit it. All this came from me selling stuff to people on Craigslist because I built upon what I already knew. And if you don't already know something, or you're not skilled in something, you're always starting from scratch. You have nothing to build upon. So that's what you should do. Juwan, I have a degree in results. This channel, since 2009, has made close to $8 million. Now tell me, 8 years, how many degree holders you know have made almost $8 million in their fucking lifetime? You know what the average income is for a person with a degree? 1.2 to 1.7 million lifetime. Lifetime. So don't be up here asking me if I got a fucking degree. A little weak bullshit. I'm just playing. All right. Let's see what we got going on here. Plumber Bank. I mean, you know, check out these comments. There's all kinds of stuff in there. Seeing most people get degrees for the same reason they get nice cars, to show off to other people. Yeah, for some reason the getting rid of the people isn't working out. Doug, I have a degree and I wouldn't trade the college experience, but I didn't need it. Majority of my multi-million customers are business owners without college degrees. The majority of my multi-million-dollar customers are business owners without college degrees. I'm laughing because I know it's true. Thank you to the guy on the internet for the $2 super chat. Appreciate you. That was funny. Pamela said, I could have done without the college experience and the degree, but both are a waste of time. I could have spent that time being part of a creative class, which I'm doing now. One of the things is, at one time, college really worked. And it worked well, and it moved you from one socioeconomic class to another. That stopped happening about the early 90s because the cost of college skyrocketed. Now, I would say if the cost of college didn't skyrocket, it would still be kind of viable if you could work a job and go to college and pay it off and not have any student loan debt. It'd be awesome. But that's not the case now. You have
people who graduated from college with 4.0s who moved back in with their parents because they couldn't find a job. Now let's get into that. Jobs as we know it are disappearing. I said this years ago. I said, if you're doing a job that a program can do or an automated attendant can do, it's going to happen. Now, I don't think it's going to happen as fast as some people do, because we're a long way from there's just a highway being full of automated cars. We're about 10, 15 years from that, but it's going to happen. And the same with the trucks. But knowing that, you need to get your ass in gear now. Recently, I had a $2,000 challenge. Started on the 17th. I've had a lot of people complete that challenge. The goal was to make $2,000 above and beyond what you're currently making. I get comments, Glendon, 2,500, 2,300. And you know what my thing is? Congratulations. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going. Because now you can make 5,000, or you can make 10,000, or you can make 20,000. That is exciting. That's real exciting. Because if you can make $2,000 in less than a week, you can make 8 to 10K a month. That puts you in the top 10% of earners in the world. 10K a month puts you in the top 10% of all earners internationally, not just in the United States, but internationally. You move to 15 grand a month, you're in the top 5%. And 15 grand a month is 185,000 a year. Ain't even 200K. You get to 280, you're in that fraction. So I'm just letting you know. Kevin Bear, I think it depends on the kids. Some kids need some time. No. I ain't even letting go for that bullshit. When I was in high school and I felt I wasn't being challenged, I got a job and enrolled myself in a private school. It ain't the kid. We coddle these kids. We hold their hands. We wipe their faces. Those kids who have been coddled, those kids who have never had to deal with hardship are going to be decimated in this new economy. They're going to be killing themselves. They're going to be taking. Oh, shit. They're already doing that. So it ain't. No. If you're a parent, your job is to put your foot up your kid's ass and push them out of the house, not to do their homework for them, not to pay for every little fuck up they have. No. We got to toughen up these people, because the weak, you know what? How many of y'all heard this saying, the meek will inherit the earth? What do you think that really means? I'm going to show you something in a minute. Meek. Biblical sense. Because it don't mean, because I had someone challenge me on this before. It doesn't mean what you think it does. Let's see. All right, so let's see. Let me find it. I think this is it. All right. This is meekness. Currently, the United States and Russia are being meek. When this was written, and it was written in Greek, meek meant having great power, but showing great restraint. Meek wasn't about being a weak little bitch. It wasn't about being gentle. It was showing restraint when you had great power. So, yeah, the meek will inherit the earth. It will be the powerful. It will be the intellectually savvy. It will be the creative class. Yes, that's who's going to inherit this bitch. It ain't going to be the poor people who are like, well, I'm waiting on Jesus Christ, my Lord and Savior. He's going to provide for me, and the afterlife is going to be beautiful. You ain't going to get that, bro. You ain't getting this. It's going to be the meek. It's going to be folks who are powerful, who show great restraint. It's going to be people who have a lot of money and choose to spend it wisely. That's who's going to inherit the earth. I just thought I would put that out there. Oh, y'all are going fast. Lonell, people will write you a check for a legitimate service. The magic is to get them to not think about how much the check is in their writing. What you have to do is offer them better service. I agree 100% with that. Jordan Peterson. I've heard of him. What is he talking about? Because essentially with the meek and all of this stuff, because I got a friend on Facebook and he goes to the original meaning of words. And we were having a conversation about 3-4 months ago, and that came up, and we talked it about, and I looked it up. And meek is not gentle. When a language is translated several times, the original meaning gets lost. Meek ain't about being a weak little bitch. It's about being a powerful warrior and showing great restraint. That's being meek. But people got it twisted. Okay. Oh, definitely. How many of y'all heard of the Dead Sea Scrolls? How many of y'all heard of Lilith? Did you know that if Lilith had made it into the Bible, men and women would have been equals? It'd been a whole different world. The Bible was a tool that was prostituted to keep the masses docile. And it was just a bunch of old men creating doctrine. That's really what it was. All right, so that was today's lesson, boys and girls. This is what's going down in the 2018. If you know someone who's thinking about getting a college degree, talk to them. Sit down with them, pull out a pen and paper, and crunch the numbers. And be hard on them. Don't be, because like a lot of these millennials, some of y'all are tough. Some of y'all are hard working. I ain't worried about y'all. But a lion's share of y'all are going to catch hell because you have never dealt with hardship, and time's about to get hard, because I think this next economic shift is going to be bad, but fundamentally it's going to create a permanent underclass, meaning that the social economic caste that you're born in, your children, the children of your children, and the children, you're not ever getting out unless something remarkable happens. That is how you living now. If you living in a 1-bedroom apartment, you're 45, you got a wife and a kid, more than likely your child is going to be living in a 1-bedroom apartment when he reaches that age. Success leaves clues. Parents who have great vocabularies have children who have great vocabularies. One of the reasons that I hate the word nigga, N-I-G-G-A, and nigger, N-I-G-G-E-R, is that some black people have put that on repeat, and even if they're intelligent, they sound dumb because they keep repeating that word over and over again. And it's the craziest thing, because years and years ago, I used to actually count how many times the word was said in the rap song. And I was like, this can't be an accident. It's like DJ Johnny goes in there, like, yeah, he's got this song. He maybe says it once or twice. And then some executive like, hey, man, we need about 15, 20 more niggas in there. Yeah. Now make it 30. Programming. I don't care who told you that you could take something that was meant as degradation, as an assault, and turn it into a plus. That is fucking asinine. It is stupid. And I hate when black people use the word, and I will check each and everybody that calls me that, because there ain't no niggas here. There's no niggers. I don't think any of us who are black people are any of that bullshit. But you got folks who are buying into low expectations and self-degradation and self-hate, and then people like me get called a coon because I don't want to use the word. Uncle Tom, because I'm not real and I'm not down. But you know what? I'm rich. I'll take that any day over being down. Let's see. Wealth development. It's definitely brainwashing. And that's why, when I'm going to get into this, because we're going to have some very substantial talks, and we're going to get into some stuff, that I feel that it doesn't have to be this way, but I feel it's going to be this way because people don't want to change, that we're going to have a huge permanent underclass of poor black people. And they're buying into it. I think this is why a large number of black people are fleeing the mass population, so to speak, and becoming Republicans and conservatives because, yeah, they're racist, but they're racist that you can make money with. And I don't want to hear that, well, I'd rather be down for my people than to make money. Money is an economic tool that can create so many positive outcomes in your life. And just this whole denigration of, I'm not going to do things to make money. I'm going to keep it real. I'm going to keep it broke. I'm going to keep it poor so I can have solidarity with my poor and broke brothers. What kind of bullshit is that? I know, Logic. I know. Yeah, this next recession is going to affect everything. But if you got $1 million cash in a safe haven bank, a solid bank, you still going to have $1 million cash. The dollar will not be worth as much, but you will still be able to buy a lot because the price of everything is coming down. Everything. Yeah, we do, J Pool. Lindell, 99% of my people will not give me a dime because they want the hookup. That is true. Well, this is what it is. All right, so once again, you can go below. It's $350 that you can spend at Hustlers Kung Fu and get to be part of Disruptive Male Prep. Or you can go straight and spend $350 to get lifetime access to Disruptive Male Prep. And that's going to be the first tier. There will be 3 tiers. It'll be the first tier, second tier, and the third tier. And the third tier is going to be blazing. Christian Anderson, this is why I stopped listening to a lot of Hotep dumbasses and started following you. You're really about power, wealth, and influence, and a lot of these jokers about bullshit. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, this is why I've developed this rigorous and very aggressive posture, because they keep coming. And I have a question for all of them. Do you have a trust fund for your child? And none of them ever answer that question. I say, well, I got one. My daughter's getting $1 million. If you cannot provide and set up for someone you see every day, someone you change their diapers, someone you purportedly love, but you're out here trying to save the community, but you've ignored your own child, you're full of shit. Love starts at home. And if you ain't taking care of home, but you're on this, I'm going to save the community, you're full of shit. And every one of these Hotep motherfuckers that come here, I ask them that question, and they always avoid it because they don't have that set up. And it's a travesty. You got children, but you're trying to save the community, and you don't have shit put away. And I'm going to tell you, you want to know how you can give your kid $1 million for the cheap? You can go out and buy 4 $250,000 term life insurance policies, anywhere from $17 to $25 per month. So you can $75 to maybe $100 a month, and you can have $1 million worth of coverage for your kid. Less than a pair of Jordans, less than your cell phone bill. But you ain't doing that, and you don't know that because you're full of shit. You ain't trying to build anything. You ain't trying to create anything. You're talking because talk is easy. Building something requires effort, and you don't want to do that shit. And that's why I'm deleting your comments, and I'm treating you like the little bitches you are. Because that's all y'all are, full of talk. You ain't trying to create anything. You're not trying to build anything. And anybody that has children but is trying to save the community while those children are being ignored is just fucking beyond asinine. So that's my deal. Thanks for the super chat, Erica. Poverty should not be admired. No, it shouldn't be. We'll talk about that later. I'm getting ready to go. I might be back at 7:30. I don't know. I may do that stream tomorrow because I've got a lot of them set up and I'll start posting them. All right. You got your marching orders. You can go below. It's $350. Gets you lifetime access to the first tier of Disruptive Mail Prep. And I'm going to tell you, for about almost 3 weeks, it was $150. Now it's $350. And when I start unleashing these courses, and you're going to be wishing that you had taken advantage of this option, because I decided that I'm not going to do $9.99 per month. I'm going to do $20 per month for the first tier. And then I'm going to do $29 to $39 for the second tier. And I'm going to do $70 for the third tier. And I'll do another video about it because, if you don't get it today, I'm probably going to leave it like this. The day is Wednesday. So Thursday, yeah. I'll be talking about it again, and I'll go a little bit more in depth. But I've done this over the years, and a lot of people think that I'm full of shit. And then when I really unleash it, they're like, damn. I get all these emails like, hey, can I still get in for $350? And the answer is always, fuck no. So I'm telling you, it's going to be good. It's going to be good. So get in. Links below. You can check out the page. And then probably Monday, I'm going to start adding people, because then I should be finished with what I'm working on. There's going to be a lot of stuff that's going to be going down. All right. I'll catch you good folks later. Maybe 7:30, maybe not. I don't know, because I got a meeting to go to. Subscribe, comment, share this stream and this video with someone you care about, someone who really needs to see it. Peace.